Is it time to reveal your real magic and become seen, known, and valued? So here we are. Welcome, Laila. It's lovely to be with you today.
Hello.
And hi, everyone, to watching. Hope you're having a great week. Today, I am so pleased to be here with Laila talking about embodied expression. So, and this is, for people who are stepping into visibility, I know whenever I step into new levels of visibility, it can be hard to breathe, to be fully present, and tensing up and tongue-tied, and that fear can squeeze your energy up into your head and, create a barrier between you and your flow. So this is what we're going to be talking about today. Laila, I love your work. I love the deep conscious movement that you do and the 5 rhythms that you do. And Laila, we've known each other for about 3 years now, I think, and I attended your workshop in California in Berkeley, which is amazing. And I really love how deep you go with the 5 rhythms, with the transformation that you bring. And I know that I can vouch for the radiance that you have. You've got an incredible magnetic radiance, and humor and directness and deep stuff. So, and I've witnessed you on stage, doing improv in a way that completely cracked me up. It was one of the funniest things I saw that evening. It's like, oh, your free expression, when you let that rip, it's like, wow, really amazing. So I'm just so looking forward to this conversation today. I know there's a lot of people interested in connecting with us, and you will tell us at the end about your embodied being retreat, if you could. So welcome.
Thank you.
Lovely to have you here. So I'd love to hear, you've been dancing for nearly 25 years, with the 5 rhythms.
Yes.
You're a coach, you're a physiotherapist, or we're a psychotherapist, a group facilitator. I know you've gone very deep into your own embodiment of your power and your radiance. Can you just tell us a little bit of how did you end up where you are now?
Wow, yes. Well, thank you for your words and for inviting me here. Well, it's really about not having been where I'm now. It has been about being really stuck and in pain. And I mean, I've always had a dancer inside of me. Always, since I was little, I wanted to dance, and I danced. So it is my resource. This is where I come from, and this is where I always return to. And I've been trying to find my way to how I could express myself more, because I've been a very closed up child. I never expressed anything. I had a sister who exploded and I imploded. So for me, it was really a long journey of finding my way to express myself. And this has been a journey that has taken me through theater and singing. And when I arrived and met the 5 rhythms, I really found what made sense to me, and to really express myself in all the rhythms and all parts of life. And it just became my home. Yes, and it ripples from the dance floor just out into my life. I mean, the dance floor is just a place where we practice and then take it out into life and become these vibrant beings.
Oh, I love that. And
Yeah,
I
yes.
know, yeah. I practiced 5 rhythms for quite a number of years as well, going to weekly classes, and absolutely loved the free expression as well. So yes, so tell me about, you as a business owner, you need to keep putting yourself out there into
Yes.
visibility. And how has this practice of embodied movement and expression helped you to step up and to keep stepping up into your to let go of the holding back and the, that frightened child that you're talking about?
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't have done it without this conscious embodied practice, because we go up into our heads, and I have so many stories of not being good enough, and then just taking it one step at a time, one movement at a time, and noticing that this is not true, and and also allowing the body to open up to myself. So a deeper connection with myself, my breath, my movement, and what's really going on inside. And also relating that to other people. So I got really relating on the dance floor, saying, here is my dance, showing up with my dance, and being allowed to really show up with my movements and my breath. And it could be really contracted, or it can be open, and just saying, this is me. And allowing that to see, wow, and I can welcome it. And I can step out of shame, and I can step into, this is my dance, and that was very much coming from first allowing myself to relate to myself, to find a deep connection with me. And I also needed therapy. I did need a way in to really feel that I was held before I could actually start dancing the 5 rhythms, because I was so closed up that moving with this expression, I was too scared before. I needed something else before, but then it was the right move to take and to embody my power, because I have so much power. I was scared of it. I was just scared of myself, scared of my anger, of my sexuality, of just being too much, So I turned into too little. I was a pale child. I was sort of angry, and to just get that into movement, and then also just allowing myself to become friendly with others and not having to adjust. But I mean, we do want to adjust, but to also be ourselves in that. And that was the best playground to really take the first step into visibility.
Oh, I love that.
To lift my arms up, to really open up. When do we open up? When do we open up our shoulders and our mouth and our legs? And when do we dance with our backs? And just the whole juiciness. That bodies are juicy, if they allow to.
I'm getting activated just from listening to you here. I was like, oh, I can feel it. Yeah. This is a transmission. That's beautiful. And I love what you're saying about being present with, whatever is there, whatever feeling is there, whatever, movement or expression is there. And, and that's kind of because what often happens, and I talk about the frozen one, and, we freeze up, when we're afraid, when we step into this, what will people think? We freeze up. And it's like the movement brings in that melting. It's like the freezing can melt. We can just be present with whatever is there and hold space for it. Hold space for that. And that's what's shifted.
And by doing it weekly, because the 5 rhythms has the practice of, you can come weekly and dance and just have the practice of saying hello to your body on a deeper level. And then you can have workshops and retreats where you go deeper and you go into the more visceral stuff, and how you connect with your emotions and your physical being, and how you make it all move and get out of frozenness and move with your anger and your grief and your happiness and everything. And then just to practice that, so that our nervous system gets more acquainted with being a bit more out there. So we have to stretch ourselves. If we stretch ourselves too much at one point, we get ripped, like we get a ripped tendon or ripped muscles, and it hurts and we withdraw. But this slowly, this gently, weekly, daily, whatever, take yourself into the next level of visibility, finding I'm still standing. I haven't been threatened yet. And it was maybe just one person who told me whatever, but really I can hold more space for myself.
Yeah. Beautiful. And I was going to ask you about that, because, stepping into visibility is hard on nervous system, it's hard emotionally. And I love that tip. And anybody who's watching, just, you know, say hello, tell us what you relate to, and drop any questions you've got for Laila into the comments. I'd love to hear from you. But somebody was asking me yesterday about doing Facebook Lives, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good with Facebook Lives. But the first time I did even a recorded video, was in the days before Facebook Live, but I was just in tears. I was just totally 100% frozen. I was like, I can't even say anything, I'm just crying. And you know, when I did my first Facebook Lives, I was kind of, you know, in a held space. You know, there was a group holding space for me while I did it, and then I would do 5-minute lives, and I would speak a poem because that would relax me. And then it was like 5 minutes is enough, and you know, just do that weekly rhythm for a while to you know, step by step, you know, relax the nervous system. As well.
And you really have to find your way, what calms you down, what gives you, what connects you with your resources, with your wiser self. How can you relax in your legs and your hips and connect with the earth underneath you? And for me, and for many people, dancing is a really good way. And I dance before I go on the conversation with you like this. I dance every morning to just have a sense of this is a new day. And I have to be really careful with my energy, because I come from a very closed up place, and it's self-care. It is a deep sense of self-care to make my energy flow and take myself gently into moving whatever, and to whatever tune just feels right, you know? And that's where the practice comes in also.
Yeah, beautiful. And just see some comments here. Angelina is here. She's saying, yes, me too, can relate to this. Elizabeth is saying, I have an increasing awareness that you can know things in your head all you want, but there are certain things that will not shift until you move them out of the body where they are stored. So really getting the benefit here. Yes, thank you for this transmission, Laila. And and for you know, anyone watching, just let us know, what's your experience of soothing your nervous system through movement. It might be going for a walk, it might be dancing, it might be yoga, running. You know, I know I like to stretch and dance and walk. So yeah, beautiful. It's calming the nervous system and doing it bit by bit. And I know also, you know, you are and I am, and I work with a lot of conscious business owners where we want to be in alignment and follow the energy, but it's easier said than done. So I'd love to hear a bit more about this, how this embodied spirituality, this embodied listening, this embodied expression, how can that help us to learn to listen and trust rather than get busy in the head stuff and doing? So.
Oh, wow. I mean, that might be my favorite topic of all, because it brings me to that the body is the receptor of a higher intelligence, and it is to really get into alignment with a bigger power that we need. If you want to create on that level that we are longing for, we need to connect to a higher intelligence, to something divine, to the magical, the mystical. And we can't do that from our little mind. And we really have to open up, and our body becomes the vessel to really to check in with the vibration that can then meet us. And for us to become attuned with that vibration, we really need to quiet our mind and start listening on this really central, visceral level in the body with every cell. And we have to let go of stuff, you know, we really have to let go of tension so that more wisdom can enter us. And then we often know what to do, or we become more curious. You know, just to become more curious is a great resource instead of staying in fear. And the body is the bridge to our spirituality. as I see it. There's no other way to a really embodied spirituality, because it's about finding the vibration where your truth is sent from, and then you can, oh yes, then you can recognize it, and then then you know.
So it's about finding that vibration, and sensing that, okay, this is the energy that lights me up, or that gives me clarity, and also letting go of the areas of tension, physically, emotionally, energetically.
Yeah. And I often sort of send a prayer out, or even if in my teaching, it's about allowing for the rhythms to find me, the flow of the earth. How can I open to what's already there? How can I open to clarity? How can I let myself be danced into chaos where my intuition and my instincts take me? And how can I connect with others from a heartful place where I know that I'm in connection? And how can I find that I am spirit in body, and find the stillness behind all my troubled mind?
Oh, I can feel that. And you've just talked us through the 5 rhythms, and I'm just really feeling on a whole new level. And I've studied this for a while, but you are such an amazing teacher, that how moving through each of those 5 rhythms, you can find just what you need, on that day, in that moment, in each of those different places. Oh, do I need to be still and listen? Do I need to release some tension and some energy? Do I need to connect? Oh yeah, beautiful.
I need to step into my clarity with the consequences of that. And how can I do it in a direct and still gentle and loving way?
Yeah.
How can I keep grounded in that? Gabrielle Roth, who created these rhythms and saw what was needed, she calls it really shape-shifting. To have the freedom to know what rhythm to use at what time for the right moment, so that your reaction is a response that is adequate at all times, which is, something to wish for, but you can work on it. And
it's a living practice. Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
that's beautiful. It must have been incredible to train with Gabriella Roth.
It was,
the founder of this as well. So it's such a gift to spend that time with her. Beautiful. So tell us in the comments, what's your practice to listen and to follow your inner knowing? I know for me, it's an ongoing practice as well. And that, moving, going for a walk, journaling, as Angelina says, playing music can help as well. And so Elizabeth saying the body is the bridge to our spirituality. Yes. And Elle is saying, I love these opening and inviting how questions, right? Igniting. So beautiful. So I'd love to talk about radiance with you, because I recognize your radiance. You really embody that radiance. And as it happens, I'm in the midst of creating a new program called Magnetic Radiance. So what can you tell us about this ability, when we shift our energies in this way, this ability to attract, to call in, to be magnetic, whatever it is we want to be magnetic to, but this sensual embodied experience?
Well, it is really counterintuitive to what you might think, because it's really about being with yourself in a way that you just like being with you, and step by step, just allowing more and more of you to have a space inside of you, being able to breathe into whatever your unfinished business, your where you don't feel so sure, where you're not so capable, and just being self-compassionate. I really believe that is the way to radiate, that you actually, I always talk about how you can become, how your relationship between you and you becomes more nearer and more in connection, how you become more in connection with yourself. And And from there, things just happen. Magic happens. And we often, and we've learned when we were children, from a very young age, that we probably had to reach out and find out where is the love and how do I get what I need. If it's not given to me in the way that I need it, then we go searching. And to rewind that and just come back to ourselves and trusting that if we get home to ourselves, then we start radiating. And it's a very fearful process, but once we get it, I say, I can just really be myself, and I can trust that if I'm with me, then other people are drawn to me, and things just open up in a not needy way, in just a very, very supportive and supportive way. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I'm really feeling the deep truth of your words and the transmission and your wisdom. And I love it. One of the phrases I use is visibility is all about connection, connection with yourself, first of all, and then, the greater wisdom, and then from there with others. And I love, what I'm hearing and what you're saying is that when we connect inside, there's something that softens and melts, and that inner connection, because we're in the vibration and the frequency of connection. That's what's magnetic, and people feel connected to us. They can feel us because we can feel ourselves. They're like, oh, yes.
And on the way to that place, just really being gentle and moving with, I don't want to be seen, and what would it be like, and what's holding me back, and having the movement in this process is just it just integrates it straight away. It makes it very just down to earth. Here we are. We live this life, and we're not stardust. We won't be for a while. So let's just get down to the nitty gritty body human experience, and let's do it together. Let's do it together.
Oh, yes. I can feel that transmission just from this conversation, across the miles. So that's beautiful. Yeah, to get together in a group for that is gorgeous. A few more comments here. Just want to Elle saying, deeply embodied rhythms feels like a higher intelligence. And Elizabeth saying, I hear my knowing in the forest of running or cycling or swimming. Yeah, exactly. That's the embodied movement. And Elle saying, I love this coming back to ourselves and coming from deeply connected to ourselves and trust that others are drawn to me. Yeah, beautiful. Vivian is sharing her practices, music, drums, dance, just lying on the floor, singing, nature. And yesterday she wrote that life is here now in this body. Life is what happens behind the veil of thoughts when the veil parts. Beautiful. Thank you, Vivian. I was saying she loved how I'm moving as I listens to you. And we were both separately, dancing before we came on to have this conversation. So, and my body also, it goes the other way around. I notice, like I was, in a coaching conversation with a client yesterday, and I could really feel that. Oh yes, this is the insight, this is clarity, and my body starts to move and dance with kind of, yes, this is truth. I'm like, okay, thanks body for telling me. It's, it works the other way as well.
Yeah.
So beautiful. So I'd love to, what's the, we've talked a little bit about this as well, but what's the impact of this? What difference has that made for you in your business, for those that you work with? What?
Oh, for me, it is an ongoing journey, but it has really meant that I more and more value and see the impact my work has, and that I become more and more courageous in just putting myself out there more and more, one step at a time. But I have come to a point of no return, where I just know that not becoming visible and not stepping into what I sense more and more clearly, because my power has just loosened in a way that just makes me unstoppable. It has become an unstoppability in a way that I just sometimes think, wow, there's no way back on the couch. There's no way back. And I still don't know where it will take me, but I just know one step at a time, and then things just show up. It is thrilling to just watch what my released power coming into ecstasy, really letting go of the stasis and getting into ecstatic ecstasy.
Yeah.
And for others, I can really see and I hear people becoming more courageous, becoming more themselves. The other day, I did a workshop called Body Prayers, and we did a really powerful exercise where you had to really listen to your body after we'd been dancing for days. And she had been abused in her childhood and had always had a dark place in between her hips and closed up pelvis. And after this experience, she went up to me and said, I felt light. I was reconnected to this powerful place in me that's been shut off. And from now on, I will just enjoy life, you know? And I was just blown away by what this work can do of opening. And when you're ready to, wow, she could just let go of the fear and step into her light.
Oh, that's so powerful. That deep healing, healing. And I know I've loved witnessing you over the last 3 years that I've known you, increase your visibility. And there's a YouTube video, a beautiful video made about you and your work recently. And so the invitations to collaborate that pop in when you do this practice of this embodied.
More and more, I don't have to do anything. I was invited to do a podcast yesterday, and it's just coming. I don't have to work so hard for it. It's just landing on my plate.
Beautiful, beautiful, because that's what's possible, when we're magnetic, when we do the inner work to shift our energy, that's what's possible. I really want people to get that message. Yes. Gorgeous. And so I'd love to invite people into your world. I know I've danced with you. I know how deep and how wild and what a safe space you hold in your workshops and retreats. So anyone listening, are you interested in finding more about Laila's work? She does international retreats. So how can people go deeper with you? And, can you share some details about your upcoming event?
Yes, I have a summer retreat, which is sort of in the middle of Jutland in Denmark, in a beautiful area. And it's a 3 nights, 4 days retreat where we will dance, we will rest, we will be in nature, we'll be in good company, we'll have good food, and we will just explore all the stuff that opens up when we allow it. And I'm really looking forward to it. It's a beautiful space we dance in, and the community that is getting together is also really supportive of each other and open. I will have a co-facilitator. I'll be assisted by a friend and colleague from Germany called Susanne Kerein from Cologne. She brings some funkiness to the whole workshop or the retreat as well. And I also do one-on-ones online. I do actually have some good experience with meeting through the screen. Also, there can be this embodied coaching or even movement. So if you live far away, you can always get in connection with me through the screen, and it is very empowering and transformative also.
Yeah, we're feeling the energy already. So even through this, I can imagine just what's possible through that transmission, even remotely. So yes, I've shared the link to your retreat. I'm on a retreat in England the week before, but otherwise I would love to be there.
Oh, it would be
gorgeous.
Great.
Yeah. So, and so I think, Yael sharing, that's amazing, such beautiful work, with the woman who, had that healing. It shows what's possible with your work. And Vivian says, yes, the invitations and connections that are so energizing when we become magnetic. So, so I love go ahead.
Yeah, I could maybe add that I also travel, and I'd like to be invited to places also. If people don't want to come to me, I come to them. So I'd love to see what opens up by bringing my suitcase and going into the world.
Yeah, gorgeous. Well, let's be magnetic to that as well, because
now it's put out there.
I connected with you in California, and it was so gorgeous, dancing with you. And I know you're very much an international teacher, so calling that in. So so beautiful. Thank you for this conversation. So we were talking about embodied expression, and how that helps us to let go of the holding back, and slowly build up the practice of opening up, taking up more space, also softening in to the tender parts, the held too tightly parts, and expressing that, and listening and deepening into that, and how that helps us to become magnetic and radiant. So is there anything else you would love to share with us about this, embodied expression, and how empowering it is? As we finish up here, and for anyone watching, I'd love you to share your takeaways, your insights, your ahas, what you've gotten from this conversation.
Well, I just really want to really invite everyone to become soft and gentle with themselves, and let movement come from this gentle space. And the body wants to move. The body is longing to express itself. It's longing. And I just wish for us to find our freedom in movement, whatever that may be for you. But so, invite your body to become as free as you sense you can.
Oh, beautiful. I love that. And what I, especially love about that is that, you're such a powerful woman. You're such a big presence. And as you said, you've really allowed yourself to own that power and embody that power. That's the journey I'm on as well. And I love how that comes through the softness. So it's like gentleness and softness create more power, when we've often been told that we have to be tough and be out there, and kind of, rather than in here softening and actually becoming powerful and magnetic as well. It turns things on their heads in a really beautiful way. So absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much, Laila. I've got other people in the comments saying thank you. So,
well, thank you. Thanks everyone for watching this, for staying on, and please get in touch if you want any inspiration, or any way you want to be supported. Please feel free to call me or reach out.
Yeah, we've got the link to our website. Yeah, gentle power, Elizabeth saying. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, gorgeous. Thank you so much, Laila, for this deep conversation, and thanks everyone for watching. Have a good week, and I hope to see you again soon. Is it time to reveal your real magic and become seen, known, and valued?